Hey guys, what's up? It's Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and I have just finished watching the NXT War Games, and my god, it might actually be one of my favourite WWE events that's probably happened this year. And I don't say that lightly, because even though there were only 4 matches, well, technically 5 actually, but we'll get to that in a minute, each and every one of them felt like they could easily be 4 or 5-star matches. But, as per usual, let's digest it bit by bit and go through each and every match. And we began with quite a surprising one, really, because we were told before the event was going on that Kassius, Ohno and Matt Riddle were actually, taken off the card. We didn't really know why, yet who came out to the ring first and foremost but the one, the only, banana-clad Matt Riddle. And he just said, yeah, let's have a match right now. Kassius, come down. And Kassius did. And he got the 7 bells knocked out of him in 7 seconds, because as soon as he got into the ring, Matt Riddle just basically kneed him in the face and took the victory. It was short, it was sweet, and to be honest, that's exactly the type of thing that you want to see from Riddle coming into the promotion. He needs to come in because he's red hot. He needs to win matches quickly. He needs to do this. And Kassius, while many are sort of questioning what his position is in NXT at the moment, Adam Nicholas and I were having a great discussion about whether or not it's his purpose now to help people get in and get them over. So yeah, very, very happy with that match. Then we moved on to Kyrie Zayn, my personal favourite female wrestler, because she's just fantastic and has just an elbow drop to die for, versus the ruthless and mean Shayna Baszler. And the match started off, it was a 2 out of 3 falls match for the women's title, I should add, in typical Baszler fashion, in that while Kyrie got in quite a bit of offense, then the extra horsewoman of MMA came down to the ring and caused some shenanigans, which started to see the scales tip very heavily in the favour of Baszler. There were quick submissions, very, very quick submissions in fact, and I thought the match was going to go on for a lot longer than I was led to believe, but there were some great spots as well, fantastic athleticism from both the women and those involved on the outside as well. We got to see some great, there was one spot in particular that looked so dangerous that I almost balked, because it looked like Kyrie Zayn was being lifted up into a suplex, but then she dropped down, this was on the apron, and turned it into a DDT spike as she fell through to the floor. I know that description probably doesn't sound as mental as it was, but trust me, it left me and Nicholas just aghast. It just looked so unbelievably painful. But then things got crazy because Kyrie picked up a nice elbow drop pin, and you thought to yourself, maybe she was going to turn the corner and capture her treasure once more, but alas and alack, more interference meant that she was on the receiving end of a beatdown. But then we had Dakota Kai and Shirai came down to the ring and they helped her out. And that actually sets up something really interesting, because while Kyrie didn't win the NXT Women's Championship, it doesn't matter so much, because now we've got 3 of the MMA horsewomen and we've got this other team that's building as well, and that could go forward to a good tag team feud, which actually would be quite interesting in the division. Then we had Gargano versus Aleister Black. The resolution as to why he was attacked and Gargano's sort of heel turn that's going on now, it was as close to perfect as I could possibly have asked for between the pair. These two are in-ring veterans working many years on the independent circuit before coming to NXT, and it showed in spades. Each man was hitting each other with stiff moves, stiffer than having a cocktail at sort of 7 in the morning. It was unbelievably sharp and stiff in some areas. And there was one moment where Gargano came through the middle ropes and was met with a knee from Black, and it just looked so painful. Every single move, you couldn't see how they were going to top it, and yet they did. They had amazing ring-in psychology as well, because we had moments where they were copying each other. Gargano sitting down in the ring, mocking Aleister Black, and then lifting up his head to deliver some hits, but then Black doing the same to him and saying, come on, bring it on. If you want to be me, that's the only way you're going to beat me. And Black did pick up the win, but not before he uttered the words, I absolve you of all your sins. That was powerful on so many levels, because not only does it put a lovely, neat bow on the entire feud, but it enforces this thing that Aleister Black is a superhuman. He is something above, dare I say it. He could be a phenom. But that's for the fans to decide further down the line. I just thought that was a near perfect match, and if I could rate it, I probably would give it 4.5 or 5 stars. The intensity was so good throughout, and while a lot of people might say that there was a fair few false finishes, it felt like every single one of them was justified, and it kept the energy of the crowd just perfectly. I can't say anything better about that. But moving on, I have to go and talk now about Ciampa versus Velveteen Dream. I didn't know that the match between Aleister Black and Gargano would be as good as it was, and it blew me out of the water. And this, from an absolute banter perspective, was fantastic. Velveteen Dream came down to the ring dressed as Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and his mannerisms didn't just stop with the entrance. He carried them on into the ring. He had this amazing run where he did the leg drop. He did the leg drop 3 times on Ciampa. Admittedly, Ciampa sat straight back up afterwards because almost riffing on the fact that the leg drop as a finisher is kind of stupid. But the best thing is that, again, me and Nicholas were talking about that it's like Velveteen Dream has taken all of the sort of negative and questionable content around Hulk Hogan and he's turned it into something else. He's owning that situation by just saying, like, you know what, this isn't about you, Terry, it's about me. And it's always been about the Dream. And he made this match very much about him. There was some crazy moments that you just thought to yourself, okay, how are these guys still going? The match ran, for some people, I would say that it would probably run a bit long. Again, there was a lot of other false finishes, but there were enough heavy-duty spots to carry the impact from moment to moment. And it ended in a fitting way of the Drake DDT straight down onto the middle iron barrier between the 2 rings. That looked like it bloody hurt, and so did quite a lot of the other moves as well. And I have to give massive credit to Ciampa for not only picking up the victory and retaining Goldie, but there goes my pen, but also actually using Goldie in a lot of interesting ways. Like Velveteen Dream went out of the ring and grabbed the belt and then accidentally dropped it on the floor as he was getting back into the ring. Seeing this, Ciampa could have just gone, right, okay, let's carry on with the match as is planned. But no, he stops, he picks it up, gives it a quick kiss, and he's like, oh, my baby, and then puts her back. It's those little moments like that which solidify why, for me, he's one of the top heels in the country, because each and every moment that he spends with that belt, he's like Gollum. He's just going a bit insane. But he picked up the win, retained. I was happy with that. Fans not so much, but they appreciate a great match, and it was a bloody great match. And then we finished with the most exhausting match of the evening, which is the War Games event between the Undisputed Era and what you could term Team Bruiserweight. I know that's not getting over, but it was War Raiders, Ricochet and Pete Dunne. It was stacked full of talent. You look at those men and you think to yourself, you can't get a bad match. I was worried when it first started though. Very, very slow. I understand it has to be. It can't be a massive spot fest straight from the off. But I was worried that maybe they were following too much of many of the same paces as the first match did last year, which was fantastic, but I just was a bit worried that they were doing too many of the echoing repeats, that where was the originality of this match going to come through? And the answer to that was around the midway point of the match, when they got all of the gear into the ring, got 2 tables, 2 bins, you had all the lovely Undisputed Era themed chairs, and that's when stuff really started kicking off. We had fantastic moves from the War Raiders where they picked up Roderick Strong or Kyle O'Reilly, had him on the shoulders, threw him over between the ring and then slammed him down. Then we had so many of these false finish breakup pins with weapons and kendo sticks. We had Pete Dunne going on a rampage of appendages, basically just snapping whatever was in his sight. Then we had the big spot, which, given the sort of time of year, let's just call it the Christmas tree of pain. It was where every single member was attached to one wall, and Adam Cole Baby was at the very top, and Hanson got onto the bottom of the ladder of power, whatever we're calling it, and slammed the entire group down, with Adam Cole coming very, very hard off the top. Looked incredible. I'm so glad that everyone is okay, especially considering after Ricochet performed what could only be described as Sonic Spin Dash off of the very top of the cage. 2 or 3 full rotations and nearly landed on his neck and head. And nearly overshot the crowd. It looked so dangerous, but at the same time, I have much love for that man. In fact, I have much love for all of these guys because they put on one hell of a show. I'm not doing it justice by telling you just the 2 or 3 spots that were there, because there was so much more to this. There was a scene where all the teams were lined up on either side of one of their rings and they were yelling at each other like trench warfare. There was moments where they were having like pack mentality, where the Undisputed Era were using their chairs to hold off the oncoming War Raiders from getting into the ring while they worked on Pete Dunne. There were moments within moments that were just beautiful, and from a technical standpoint, fantastic. Only one botch that I think that we saw, and that was very, very minimal, where Hansen didn't get the full rotation on a clothesline off the springboard clothesline. But in all, when you consider how many factors are going on in that match, it's a wonder that it came out the way it did. It's a wonder that everyone was safe at the end of it. And trust me, it was a wonder, full stop, to watch. So yeah, that was NXT War Games. As you can tell, I'm pretty pumped on it. More so than usual from watching these, because I bloody love NXT and it's great to see the stars of tomorrow shine bright today. But yeah, let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below, whether or not you enjoyed or disagreed with any of my opinions, and which was your favourite match of the night. I would have to say, in my heart of hearts, it's probably going to be the Aleister Black and Gargano one, just because I really enjoyed that. But as always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome. Go follow me at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter, and I will speak to you soon. Bye!